Look, I'm very favorably inclined towards Bitcoin because what is money? Okay, there are 5 characteristics of money that Aristotle defined in the 4th century BC. They were valid then, they're still valid now. It's got to be durable, divisible, convenient, consistent. Bitcoin is all those things, just as gold is. In part 2 of an interview with Kitco News, the founder and chairman of the long-standing KC Research legendary speculator Doug Casey gave his bullish support on Bitcoin. He believes, like other analysts and pundits, that the dollar is done as a reserve currency and a new financial system is underway. Casey has been a gold bug for quite a while and still is, but recently acknowledged that cryptocurrency is a viable option, particularly Bitcoin. He believes this because Bitcoin falls in line with the characteristics of money that Aristotle outlined back in the 4th century BC. It's durable, divisible, convenient, and consistent. While Casey expressed his admiration for Bitcoin, it was his disdain for government and the current human psyche that made him believe that we should all be wary of a central bank digital currency. Listen to what he has to say. The value proposition for Bitcoin is that it's a very portable and transferable form of wealth. In other words, gold has disadvantages. You have some. You got to cross the border with it, and you've got to store it. I mean, Bitcoin is a way to cross borders easily. Most people don't realize that 3/4 of the people on this planet lived in blocked currency countries where your Quattro or your Pul or your Dirham or all these crazy currencies, they're worth absolutely zero outside of the geographical place. The issues, but with a smartphone and a Bitcoin you can go anywhere, so that's the real value proposition for Bitcoin. Also, its supply is limited. I'm bullish on Bitcoin now. The one thing that I don't want to see happen, and nobody should want to see happen, is a central bank digital currency where the U.S. government says, well, let's digitize the dollar, we'll give you an account with the Fed, but at that point you'll be like Will Smith in that movie An Army of the State, where everything that you own is basically can be locked down and confiscated, as the Canadian truckers have recently found, and the people that contributed to them. So there's a reason why money should be private and privatized. It shouldn't even be a function of the state. Quite frankly, this is a very bad idea. That's why I like gold for money, because you don't rely on the state. It's actually owning gold is actually a bet on the stupidity of government, which is for the long term is always a good bet. If everyone used gold, then they'd probably use either grams or ounces of gold. Well, there you have it. I mean, you don't need the government to designate that, okay, because in today's world we've got up 200 different world currencies. I mean, okay, so you might have some people issuing gold in this form, some in that form. I mean, nothing wrong or different about that. I'd like to change human psychology so that we lived in a live and let live world, because the basis of all the problems that we have are that everybody thinks he knows what's best for his neighbor and wants to play a busybody, and this is of course the origin of a government where you use coercion to enforce your idea of what's right on everybody else. So I'd like to change the basic psychology, that portion of the basic psychology of the human animal. There's too much envy in the world, okay, and the envy is somebody else has something, I want it, and if I can't take it away from it, I'm perfectly willing to destroy it. I mean, it's a really ugly emotion, and it evidences itself of politics more than anything else, quite frankly. But what kind of a practical change would I want to make in the world? I say, well, I wish governments would go away with all of their armies and their central banks and their rules and regulations. That's not to say I don't believe in order in society, but I think that society is generally self-governing and is generally orderly by itself. In other words, when we walk into a restaurant, we don't need a cop at the door to ensure that we pay our bill. It's peer pressure, social program, moral approbation that keeps society together, are not a strong government with a strong police force. To watch the full interview, check out the link in the description. What do you think of Doug Casey's thoughts here? Leave a comment, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.